Pain Train Pipebomb Productions presents Pipebomb Radio NYC. Sponsored by Fanatics, TickPick, RenderForest, Steiner Sports, and Walmart. Here are your DJs, Ricky, the Master of Mayhem Litwinkowicz, and Lars, the Viking Johnson. Pipebomb Radio NYC. It's not just a name, it's an attitude. Welcome everybody to another edition of Pipebomb Radio NYC. Here with my faithful long-distance co-host himself, Mr. Lars Johnson. Lars, what's up?
All great here. Good to finally get this interview done. Looking forward to it. Bunch of weeks now.
Well, so due to the lovely world of modern technology, my computer is being a oh my god, it's a woman on the rag. It's getting it's just horrible. This thing's had its period for like a month now. But we're here. We're doing this interview. I've got like the Ebola virus going on because the grease is not working right. Nothing. This is probably not going to look prosthetically great, but whatever. So we're not alone. We have Ben from Ventruss with us today. Ben, how's it going?
It is going wonderful. How are you gentlemen doing?
Like Lars said, this has been a long time coming. So thank God it's getting done finally on the precipice of remodeling this entire computer. So once the card comes, I'll process this entire interview and it'll be amazing.
Yes.
So I'm going to do the digging a little bit early, and I've already warned Ben of this little malfunction that is going on, okay? So, Ben, I have to say, I went to go look through the band's website, and there's no bio. So I'm going to have to put Ben on the spot, and he's going to give us a back history on the band.
All right, a back history on the band. Let's go. Our website has been under construction on and off. We've been doing a lot of re-editing, a lot of, a lot of different new media on the site. Anyways, back history on the band. So the band started in 2012. I was a junior in high school. Ended up coming to know some guys that were close to me off of the lovely world of Facebook. I was able to find out. I was playing with some guys. They weren't really serious. Ended up scrapping that, found some other guys in the area to start a band with, and within 3 months of practicing, we played our first show ever on April 20th, 2012 at Frankie's Burgers in Lafayette, Louisiana. And then after that, we knew that this is what we wanted to take it seriously, so we just continued to get better, grow. Obviously, a lot of different lineup changes. I want to say traction really started around 2014. We started playing shows at the House of Blues New Orleans, both in the Parish Room, which is the smaller stage, and on the main stage. We're playing a lot of premier venues in Louisiana and Mississippi, such as the Varsity Theater, the Spanish Moon at the time, Crest Live in Biloxi, Mississippi. We played that one, which is no longer there. And then over the years, obviously, as time goes on, you work hard, you promote, you sell tickets. We were able, around 2016 is whenever we started opening up for national bands such as Hell Yeah. Who else we played with that year? Gemini Syndrome, 1,000 Foot Crutch. We did play with 12 Stones a couple times that year. And 12 Stones, shout out to them. Great guys. Love those dudes from Louisiana. Paul McCoy is a good friend of mine. Backtracking, we put out our first record, our first EP in 2014 entitled Come Alive. You can find that on Spotify. It's not on Apple Music. I've tried many, many times to put that on Apple Music, but for some reason Apple Music will not take it. All good. We have our second and third on there. Released our first EP in 2014, released our self-titled EP in 2019, and obviously the pandemic happened in 2020, slowed down things a bit. But during that time, we actually wrote our current EP that was released last year entitled The Serpent. And here we are today. The band's name derives from Ventruss, Louisiana. Now, Ventruss, Louisiana is spelled Ventress. And it's not even a town. It's like I think it's the proper term is a census designated area right outside of my hometown of New Roads, Louisiana, and that's where we started practicing at. And I remember, so we were called, the first name that we had was Embrace Goodbye. We didn't really like the name. It was just kind of like the best that we could come up with at the time whenever we came up with it. And we knew we wanted something different. We knew we wanted something that was just one word, something that meant something to us. And our band members at the time suggested that we should name the band Ventruss. Now, I didn't like the way it was spelled, so that's why I threw the U in there. And a little bitty, like my grandmother used to live in Ventruss. Like Ventruss was just like really, I mean, there was that, but like it didn't really have. And she didn't like live there my entire childhood. She moved out. So like Ventruss like really had like little significance like in my upbringing out there. You know, fast forward to whatever I'm 17 and on, it's my freaking band, my fucking band name. And you know, here we are today, and haven't looked back since. I've embraced it. I loved it. We've had wonderful fans who have made such things like this. Like I have a phone mount made by my buddy Greg Knapp. He's a fellow ship rocker. Yeah, we just kept it growing since.
Nice.
So has the band gone through a lot of changes, or has it still been like the same lineup from like day one?
Oh no, a lot of changes, a lot of changes. To like really break down all the changes would take a little bit of time. I've been the only consistent member in the band since it started. Our bass player Jake, our current bass player, he actually started the band with me. He left for some time and he came back. He left in 2015, came back in 2021. So we have two original members. Sean like joined the band a year after the band, you know, started. So I consider him like an honorable original member. BJ, our drummer, I met him in 2016 whenever our drummer had left, and ended up finding out he lived like right around the road from me. So and I didn't know him, and he wasn't from where I'm from, but he was living there, and he came audition. It worked right off the bat. And then Jesse, our current guitar player, Jesse is original. So we're all from the Baton Rouge area. We're all from the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. Jesse is originally from North Bergen, New Jersey. And whenever we found him, he was living in Gulfport, Mississippi. Now he had seen us play a couple times, and whenever our rhythm guitar player he had stepped away, he wanted to audition. And you know we were kind of like, man, he lives all the way in Mississippi. You know, is it going to work? But he was sending us a lot of videos and he seemed promising, and he came out to Baton Rouge, auditioned, kicked ass. I'd never seen anybody play as tight with Sean as he did. So I mean, it was just a no-brainer. So, and he's been in the band since 2017. So yeah, I've been the only consistent member. Jake, only other original member with me, even though he left for some time. Sean, BJ, and Jesse. That's the lineup.
Shooting it over to Lars for the tough questions now.
All right, tough question time.
Yeah. So I live over in Sweden, and have you any plans like doing a Europe tour?
Oh, absolutely. That's like bucket list goal. Has been since I was 18 years old. You know, obviously, I think it was the most promising. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. When it was the most promising that it would actually happen was like around like the early 2020. Like we were probably like we were in the talks with some people of possibly making it happen in maybe 2021, 2022. However, the whole pandemic thing happened, and you know everybody kind of refreshed, and that kind of like dwindled away. But I mean, I'm never giving up. We're gonna play in Europe, and we're gonna play mainland Europe, Scandinavia, the UK, all of it. You know,
And of course, Sweden.
of course, Sweden. Of course, Sweden. Norway, Sweden, Finland. Got to.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, there better be a New York trip in there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, hey, Jesse's from North Bergen, New Jersey. He's right across the river.
Yes, he is. And
Yeah,
I was actually shocked though to hear that there's a little bit of a little bit. To me, it's kind of a little like there are a bunch of other bands that we know that they're kind of split out as well.
Mhm.
For example, one of the bands, Ricardo and Rebecca, one's in Brazil, one's in Phoenix.
Who?
So it's kind of like that's long distance in itself. But when you have such a diversity of band members from all over the place, and they come together and put together a sound like yours or any of the other sounds that I've heard, it's actually really unique.
Absolutely, 100%. And even like all of like me, Sean, BJ, and Jay growing up in like the Baton Rouge area, we all grew up in like different towns. So like it was like. mm, Like I grew up in New Roads, Louisiana. Sean grew up in Irwinville, Louisiana. Jake grew up in Bruley, Louisiana, and BJ grew up in Prairieville. So I mean, even though Louisiana is such a unique state because you go to a lot of other states and you go to like to small towns and whatnot, all of them look exactly the same. The culture's exactly the same, what have you. In Louisiana, each little town, each little area has its own like unique quality, and that unique swagger to them. And I feel like that is it also grows on Ventruss's unique sound. And also, we grew up hanging out with different types of people and listening to different types of music. Like I grew up, more so listening to like hard rock, radio rock, what I thought was metal was hard rock to the metal world. And then BJ was listening to hardcore music and he was going to hardcore shows and grindcore shows and stuff like that. And Sean was listening to a little bit more like shreddy stuff, and then Jake, but like what I mean? Like we all kind of like gathered our own influence from just that it's in itself.
Good thing.
So I'll pop this question a little bit kind of prematurely because you mentioned so many different sounds of music that you're talking about.
Mhm.
What is your opinion that you think now Metallica from like the 80s is considered oldies?
You asking like what songs do I think are considered oldies, or do you
Well,
think?
no, just the bands that what we would know, like a Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, they now consider those oldies.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, hell, I hear shit Three Doors Down on classic radio now. Like that's the craziest thing to me. It's just like kryptonite on a classic radio station. I remember listening to that shit whenever I was young. But I mean, it is oldies, but their influence, I mean, like it's timeless. I mean, look at Stranger Things. Like Stranger Things brought 80s music back to life, or like definitely repopularized it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. There's a song on there. Now, mind you, I've only seen like 2 episodes of Stranger Things. I don't really know the show at all, but I know there was a song on Stranger Things that really wasn't that big of a hit in the 80s, and now is like topping the charts, or was topping the charts a couple months ago. Yes, the answer is yes. It's considered oldies, but it's timeless music, and it will live on forever. I mean, if people are listening to it. In my opinion, I mean, from what I've seen, I'm only 28. I was born in '94, so I wasn't around for all of that. But since my youth, people have listened to that music just as much as they listen to it now.
So using some of the bands that we have, which artist first off influenced you to get into the band business?
Ooh, man. Okay, that's a tough one. So my interest in being a singer actually started off. This is actually a funny story. My first introduction, the first time I realized I wanted to be a singer was actually because of a Christian boy band that I found in a. They used to have these things at McDonald's called Mighty Kids Meals, and they would give out like there's like a little mixtape of like these artists that like were signed but like not really big, and there was this one called Plus One. And I ended up when I was a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid, I can't remember how old I was at the time, but I ended up loving it. I wanted to sing along to it. I loved their melodies. I loved everything about it. And then eventually I gradually, a cousin of mine, and I got in all that pops. I was all in the pop world and everything. And I knew Backstreet Boys and all that, but like Plus One was the band that was the group that like maybe like that was like that's when the wheels started turning. Then I got a copy of Puddle of Mud's Come Clean.
Oh, one of my favorite albums.
Oh, I love that record. And it was actually, I was at a friend's house not long after the Plus One thing happened. And he bought the CD because he thought it was funny because the little boy was peeing on the front cover of it. So he got his parents to buy that for him just because of that. And they put it on in the car. And I don't remember hearing any of the tracks. I just remember hearing Blurry for the first time and my mind being absolutely blown. I'm like, this is something I've never heard before. That song was just so monumental to me, and that got the wheels turning even more so. Then I got into the band Hoobastank, who we all know. I had the Reason record But the band and the record that made me want to like really kicking in the overdrive when I was 10 years old, it was released 5 years prior. And actually, the funny thing was, my cousin actually got me into Linkin Park. He showed me Meteora because Meteora was pretty fresh at that time, and my mom had picked me up from a friend's house, and she took me to Target, told me I can get whatever I wanted, a CD I want. And I was like, okay. And I was looking for Meteora. I could not find it. However, they did have Hybrid Theory. So you got Hybrid Theory. Rest is history. Like, that snowball effect ended up getting me into Korn, System of a Down, Disturbed, Papa Roach. Trying to think of who else I was really, really big into at that time. Mushroom Head, Slipknot. I mean, all like that the whole new metal movement.
Nice.
I was able to discover that Seven Dust. I was able to discover all of that because of that. And yeah, and it sparked my love in both rock and in hip hop. So, I mean, like Linkin Park was just monumental.
What are you thinking over there, Lars? Your juices are percolating right now.
No, I was going to ask next, who in the band is it? You like writing the lyrics and the music, or do you take parts? Or
I write every lyric. The only lyrics I did not write out of any of Ventruss' discography, we have a song called Cattle Drive. The first verse of that, when I say I didn't write, I co-wrote. Like, we all, like, me, our guitar player Spencer at the time, and Jake, our bass player now, all brainstormed on ideas. And that was the only set of lyrics in our entire discography that they brainstormed with me. Other than that, they all put the music together. I'll throw in some input. I'll throw in, maybe some musical ideas. But for the most part, Jesse and Sean lay down everything. And we'll jam the idea instrumentally. Pretty much everything has to be done instrumentally because I write based off of, rhythm big time. And, I can't write lyrics if, BJ doesn't have his percussion laid out right. Like, if he doesn't have everything laid out the way he's going to play it. So I give it time. I let it kind of marinate. And then once they get everything tight on the instrumental side is whenever I'll take a recording of it. We'll play in the band room, take a recording of it on my phone, or Jesse will take a recording of it on his phone. I'll take it back. And the way I write is inspiration. I don't know why I can't talk today. Inspiration has to hit me. I can't just sit and just write lyrics. It's just not going to be, it's just not going to come out the way I want it. Like, it has to hit me. And when it hits me, I start rolling. And when I write, I don't even know what the song's about really at the time. I'm just literally write what's coming off the dome. It isn't until after I'm done writing the lyrics that I can actually dissect them and realize what the song is about. And that usually takes a day or two after because, I don't know, just like the juices just start flowing. I just start writing. I let it kind of sit, bring it back, and I'm like, that's what this means. This is what this line means. That's what this line means. I get it now. But yeah, all the lyrics are me.
So that can happen like wherever you are, like
wherever I am. It primarily happens when I'm at home, though. It doesn't. It has happened when I've been out in public, just randomly. I'm trying to think of a particular instance of where I wrote a song that was just like out in public. I think I wrote actually some parts of Talladega. I think I wrote it when I was at work. I was working. I was delivering pipes and fittings for a company out here in Baton Rouge, and I was driving trucks, and I think I was actually on lunch, and it was during the pandemic, so nothing was open inside. So I just went to a Sonic and pulled in, and it was actually the whole entire breakdown part from the hourglass becoming whole. That whole entire breakdown, like the heavy part, was written at a Sonic drive-through.
So is there the hidden notebook, or was that done on like a Sonic napkin?
No, on my phone, on my notepad on my phone.
See, there you go.
I should have done it on a napkin. That would have made it. Oh, that I should have done it on a Sonic napkin.
That would be the most amazing piece of band memorabilia ever. This song written on the Sonic napkin.
The Sonic napkin with the logo on it and everything.
So, like a follow-up question to songs and everything. When you play out live, which song, if any, is the most popular among your fans?
either Talladega or Alone in the Dark. We didn't play Alone in the Dark for a while. And everybody asked why we didn't play that for a while. And actually, the reason why we didn't play it for a while is because I caught COVID, and the transitioning from screaming to singing on that song, and that song particularly, which is hard for me. So I was just like, until I can, rejuvenate my voice, we need to, retire for a little minute. Talladega or Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark, people sing that one back loud, and then Talladega off the new stuff. And I would also say "Come Alive" from the first, the title track from the first EP. That's probably the only song from that EP that we still play because it's just well received by our fans. I mean, that album was. I mean, I was 19 when I recorded it. It was like our very start. It was like our it was. We were very, very. We hadn't matured yet. So I mean, those songs are just kind of like they're there. But "Come Alive" we always bring out because people just love that one. It's high energy, starts off the record right, and everyone loves it. So our fans love it.
So the question that I follow up with this is: you write the lyrics to a song, you got them all perfected, laid out the way you want them. Is the addition of all of the tracks a very lengthy process? Does it just like pop right away? Do guys just come up with riffs and drum beats and everything else fast, or is it something that really is that meticulous type process?
It goes back and forth. I remember Talladega, that song instrumentally, took almost no time to write. And honestly, the chorus to that song I wrote the first time we played it. It just came out of me, and I ended up learning this technique by listening to interviews from David Draymond of Disturbed, and he says that whenever their band plays their ideas, he'll just kind of just toy around with melodies, and he won't even be speaking English, and that's what I do. I meant to bring that up earlier. Whenever we do that, that's what I do. And whenever we were playing their song Talladega in the band room, I remember I couldn't remember what I was going to do for the verses. I was still kind of toying around with that. And then when we got to the chorus, it just wrote itself. It just literally came out of me, words flew out of me. I didn't even write it down. Came out of my mouth into the microphone, into the PA system. It was like I knew it was it. I knew I didn't need to change anything. I knew I didn't need to hash anything out on that. I knew that was the chorus. It was the rest of the song that took time to write. But it all depends. Serpent took a little while to write. A lot of transitions were changed, if I remember correctly. Relinquished. Oh my gosh, that song, that idea we started writing in 2016, and we would actually, I remember we tried making it a track. We tried working it into a song to put on our self-titled EP. However, we did, and we just couldn't find it. We couldn't just. I don't know. That song was hard to write. A lot of back and forth with that song, and I'm glad we finally got it solidified and put it on this EP. And that one I had trouble writing too because I didn't want to just do the stereotypical scream over the verse, sing on the chorus. And it was actually Sean, my guitar player, said, well, then don't do that. Do something else. Do something completely off the wall. And that's why it's kind of I'm talking, going back and forth between talking and screaming and this and that and the other. That's all. He sparked that in me. So I was able to toy off of that. But it always depends. There's no straight assembly line of how we write a song. It comes to us like that, or sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes years, for a good idea. We have some ideas that we've worked on shit since 2016. And we try to work into songs here and there because we like some of the riffs, but they just don't hit like some of the newer stuff that we write, but we still kind of we keep some of those on the back burner because maybe we can pull those out and make those into something.
So before we get to one of the tracks we have for the interview today, this is the question I always ask a lot of vocalists because you've mentioned it quite a few times already. How much of a challenge is it to go from that regular vocals to the scream vocals and then transition back? What is how much of a challenge is that for you? Because a lot of people have given me totally different answers on that.
It's gotten easier over the years, but it is a difficult process because it's you're positioning your body in completely different ways and you're using different parts. I mean, you're using the diaphragm, but you're shifting. You're using a different set of vocal cords. versus screaming. So like it just takes time getting used to and transitioning really quickly and making sure you're not doing it incorrectly. That's the toughest part because you can be like, oh, but when you go into that scream, your body might not be positioned correctly and you end up screaming incorrectly, harming your vocal cords. That is the toughest part, is just making sure that you're transitioning into it and going and even going from screaming and then singing again, going into it correctly. That is the toughest part.
So a lot of people don't understand. It's actually just not using vocals of throat and diaphragm, but it's also actually using physical stances to get into
Yes.
that progression.
Oh, most definitely. Like carrying your shoulders back, opening up your airways, and I mean, you got to keep your back erect.
We are not sponsored by Blue Chew or Viagra. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. We are not sponsored. They are not sponsored
twisted.
by any of those. But yes, keeping your back straight. But for singing, now screaming, and a lot of vocalists do this. That's why you see people like lean over when they scream. It gets a little bit more of like a diaphragm constriction. If you see like a metal vocalist like lean over to scream or like crouch down to scream, they get all of that diaphragm in it. But singing, I see some vocalists do that, but with singing, and I'm 6'8", so like I'm just towering, back straight, shoulders back. It is like, I mean, it's more than just, you're right. It's more than just your vocal cords. It's more than just your diaphragm. Your whole body is involved, especially your hips.
All right. So we are going to get to some Ventruss music here on
Yes.
Pipebomb Radio NYC. And our first track of the two is Serpent. This is Pipebomb Radio NYC.
Sinking your teeth in cold blood, cruel blood. Sinking your teeth in cold.
I've learned to play in increments to keep me holding on. I've learned to play in increments to keep me holding on.
Hello, people in New York and around the world. This is Pablo from Clay Soldiers, and you are listening Pipebomb Radio, New York City, where the rock, it's alive!
It's the master of mayhem and the Viking. It's Pipebomb Radio NYC here with Ben from Ventruss. Dude, I got to tell you, I have been listening to music since I came out of the womb. Okay. I'll be 46 next month. And I've heard so many riffs, so many transitions. And I got to tell you, this is very intricate to me. I will have you tell the guys, like, I am really, really excited to have this as a new set of music to add to my phone. Because the guitars were completely amazing. I loved all of the drum beats. Yeah. And I will say this on the vocals, between the scream and the regular vocals, they were completely level.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And yeah, Jesse and Sean lock it in always.
The bass lines were actually just like remotely in sync, and that's what I don't see even in a lot of the bands, the higher up ones that are like the mainstream guys. A lot of it's not in sync. This was done completely clean, and I absolutely enjoy hearing it every time that it comes on.
Oh, thank you very much. Shout out to Eric Woolard, our audio engineer. He's the one that made it sound so clean. He's the one that got us to play so clean, and thank you, man. It means a lot. It means the world.
It's very unique, and being the fact that I do a lot of editing, like I pick out little parts here or there. There was not one part to even say, okay, it was a little bit off or the level was a little too high or whatever. Like it was completely clean across the board. Congrats on that one.
Thank you so much.
And it's like I mentioned before we started the interview with Boss John. Like I asked him at one time, like, do you have any good bands for me to listen to? And he mentioned you and a couple of others, and I started listening to your music, and then I couldn't fucking stop. I listened through all your fucking songs.
Thank you so much.
So good.
That's awesome. And like I said, go on.
Now, one thing that I really appreciate with your music too, it's like the same thing as we said with the interview with Escalate. Like it's not like he said, Rock there, that some artists or bands, when they have a EP or a record, all the songs are like this.
Mhm.
But for you and Escalate and some other bands, it's like ups, downs, and slow songs and harder songs, and I really appreciate that part too.
Oh yes, as a listener, I love whenever artists do that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and we come from all over the place with our music. So we all come from all over the place as just our people and our upbringings and everything. You know, we all grew up completely different, and yeah, we love it. And but thank you so much. And like we talked about Boss Jan earlier. I mean, he's the fan that every band just if every band that he's a fan of is lucky to have him as a fan.
Yeah, big
because of
shout
how
out to
much
him.
because of how much he promotes. Like for Escalate, for example, like I told you, like he has gotten so many Escalate CDs out in America. It's amazing. You know, shout out to him. He's nothing but love for Boss Jan.
Big shout
Great
out.
guy.
Yeah.
He is the fan that every band needs to have.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Are there any other? Well, obviously, bands all have like this huge team that's outside of the actual core of what it is. Would there be anybody that you'd want to shout out during the interview to get them a little bit of notoriety as well?
MVK Music Group, our management team, Brian, Attila, Jesse, and all the crew. You know, we got Mikey and Michael Bayham and John Alexandre Rabaste, who is our usual roadies, crew members, to all of our fans everywhere, to anybody that has shared our music, to anybody that has promoted our music, to anybody given our music to anybody. Shout out to all you guys, the NOLA Shit Show, Ship Rockers. Trying to think who else off the top of the dome I could shout out. Excuse me. Man, the Sound, Matt James. He's been promoting he's been promoting our band out in the UK. I'm trying to think of who else off the top of my head. I feel bad if I forgot you. If you're listening and I forgot you, I'm sorry. But to any, honestly, if it does pertain to you guys, I'm talking to the audience. If you've shared, promoted our band in any sort of way, listen to our band given our band in. I cannot talk today. Jesus Christ. So my brain is just like, didn't get a lot of sleep.
This is what we do on Pipebomb Radio. We always put the artist on the spot.
On the spot. Oh man, hey, that's a challenge though. It's a challenge. But to anybody that has given us any support, promoted us, given us to anybody, you are greatly appreciated. We and me, speaking for the rest of the guys, we all love you guys so much, and thank you guys for the continued support. And it only goes up from here.
Now, as the Pipebomb staple, we always have the great segments. And on Pipebomb Radio NYC, we have the 5 questions of death. Oh, are you ready?
I am ready, I think.
Okay. First questions on the 5 questions of death.
All right.
Late night go-to snack.
Damn, on the spot, because that always varies. Okay, so this is going to sound southern as hell, but okay, there's a restaurant called Dreamland Barbecue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and they're known for their very, very tangy, spicy barbecue sauce. It's delicious, and the appetizer that they serve you are slices of white bread and a cup of the sauce to dip it in. And I find myself eating that. If I need a late night snack, I literally and you can buy it off Amazon. You can buy the barbecue sauce, and I get that shipped to my house. And if I need something to eat late at night, I work nights sometimes. I literally I'll put it on a plate, put it in a little cup, get some pieces of white bread, and dip it in it. That is a go-to late night snack.
See, that's
bread and barbecue
snack.
sauce.
I like that.
Yes,
that's.
So is it like really fucking hot, or is it more like spicy and really good?
It's spicy and really good. It's not like you do not want to eat anything overly spicy late at night. But it's got a kick to it. Now from Louisiana, it's not as hot as like say Louisiana hot sauce or barbecue sauce can be, but it's got a nice tang to it. I love it. I actually need to order some more. I'm completely out. But yes, that is a good late night snack. And I've tried it with other barbecue sauces as well. So yeah, we're gonna go with white bread and barbecue sauce. Late night snack.
Okay. Second question. We always run food questions on this show.
All right, I'm with it. With it.
You go out to a diner. You
Mm.
order the biggest, juiciest burger, but you
Mm.
always have to pick the side dish. Is it steak cut fries, waffle fries, curly fries, or sweet potato fries?
Steak cut. Steak cut fries, without a doubt. If that's my choices, steak cut fries.
Okay.
I'm not really a waffle fry person.
You know that I find that they do hold the condiments a little bit better than a regular steak fry.
That they do. But I don't know. Something about this, the way the steak fries, just the texture of them. Can't get enough of.
Okay. Question 3. Now we get into the real deal music band stuff.
All right. Let's go.
Is there a pre-show routine?
Other than just traditional warm-ups, no. I don't really have like any sort of superstitious things that I do. I just warming up, staying hydrated, making sure that I don't eat anything too acidic. Like I get sandwiches completely plain. If we're on the road, I try to get like a club sandwich or something completely plain. No tomato, like nothing that's going to be super acidic. Some baked chips if I can find some. Just really light food and warm-ups for me. I really don't even know what the rest of the band, what they do for, pre-show warm-ups, but, stay clear of alcohol or anything and just eat light, drink water, warm up. But then also after warm up, rest the throat. So, try not to, especially whenever you're in a venue, you don't want to like talk over the noise because you don't realize that you're screaming. So, just try to stay quiet.
Very cool. Very cool. Speaking of the venue, that comes to the 4th question of the questions of death.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're down in the South. You've played a lot of great venues.
Mm-hmm.
If there were one particular venue that you would want the band to be at, no matter where it is in the world, what would that venue be?
Ooh, damn, that's a tough one. We haven't played this one, but I'm gonna say the Fillmore in New Orleans. Most definitely, the Fillmore in New Orleans. Out of the ones that we've played, probably the Varsity in Baton Rouge. That venue is like one of the reasons why we were able to like get a lot of traction because that was the venue that allowed us to open up for All That Remains, Cannibal Corpse. Even we played with. Who else we played with there? Texas Hippie Coalition. That was a good show. 12 Stones. I would say the Varsity Theater.
Okay.
Varsity Theater in Baton Rouge, Fillmore, New Orleans.
Okay, now here's the 5th one, which will really definitely put you on the spot. Okay.
All right.
It is a combination venue and act that you would want to do past or present.
So like an act I'd want to play with at a venue.
Yes.
Ooh, I would love. Ooh, damn. That is on the spot, but I'm gonna really just say, I would love to open up for the original lineup of Pantera at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado.
That is a venue nobody even talks about. I'm very excited that you said that.
I've never been to it. I've seen pictures. It's bucket list to not only play there but to see a show there. But yes, the original lineup of Pantera at Red Rocks.
You just gave me goosebumps. Thanks.
Oh, how about that for being on the spot?
See, this is what we do on the show.
I love it. I'm here for it.
All right, so a little bit more about the behind the scenes of Ben, not just the band, Ben itself. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have hobbies?
Well, music is technically a hobby. Do I have hobbies? What would I consider to be a hobby?
Like gaming or art or graphics or
I game here. I game here and there. I'm not like a serious gamer. I mean, literally my favorite game of all time. My favorite game series of all time is MLB The Show. Like, I don't know. I love a big baseball guy, huge baseball fan. So, honestly, a big baseball fan. Love college football. Trying to think of what else. considered hobbies. I'm a geography nerd. I love traveling. I love studying maps. I love studying different cultures and like the way, especially around in the United States, not only just the United States, but in the world, finding out like what's popular to eat, like the lingo and all that. I'm very interested in that. I like, what's another good hobby? Interest. I love, which I actually starting today. I'm actually, even though there's shows in Baton Rouge, I'm going on the road and I'm getting vlog footage for a band, Shores Background. Shout out to them out of Baton Rouge, a deathcore band from Baton Rouge. So I love being behind the camera. I love, and I've always had this dream for years, but I've actually started writing a comedy series that I'm trying to get worked on, and it's about it's inspired by, I have some friends that live in this area of Louisiana where there's literally absolutely nothing. Like it's like probably rural, the most rural area that I've been to. And it's just kind of like it'll be like heavily inspired by Trailer Park Boys, but obviously I don't want to like copy paste anything. Definitely like take like actual moments that have happened to us being out there and putting that into a show. So, you know, being creative is a hobby, in any kind of way. I can't draw at all. I don't draw. I I love video editing. I make teasers here and there for shows coming up. Just take a clip of our music video and just put some graphics on it and whatnot. Oh, hobby! What the fuck? I just started doing reaction videos on YouTube about 2 months ago. And actually, I got inspired by another guy on YouTube, and he was really just doing it to find new music. And I was like, that's a good way, because whatever people tell me to react to, I don't care what genre it is, whatever. Tell me to react to it. I want to hear it. I want to hear something I've never heard before. Of course you get your rock and your metal, because it's most people I know are into that. So I get a lot of that, but I also get a lot of hip hop. I just got this guy named Hardy, who's kind of like a southern rock. You've got some country elements, got some hard rock elements in them. I reacted to him yesterday. I'll post that later, but loved it. So that's been a hobby of mine, is doing reaction videos. I love learning. I'm a geek when it comes to culture. I'm a geek when it comes to traveling. I don't want to like go to a place. I don't want to just show up like, and a lot of people do this, like say we're on the road and you stop in a city like I don't know, I'm trying to give like an example of like a city that's not really Birmingham, Alabama, just off the top of the dome. Not a lot of people know much about Birmingham, Alabama. We played there. That was the first time we played in Alabama. I didn't know much about Birmingham, Alabama, but I don't know, I was curious. I'm like, damn, like like what's it like out here? What are the people like? How do they talk? What do they say? What's the music culture like out here? What's the scene like out here? Rather than just coming to a place, not knowing where the hell you are and not caring, which I know a lot of people do that, but like I'm very, very invested in knowing about where I am, if that makes sense.
I will send you something, Ben, to react to and see if it's something that you can. So do you put it on these reactions on YouTube?
Yes, I do.
And I will send you something and see if it's
please.
Something that you will react to, because it's something really special. It's a Swedish band, and it's like a female singer, and the rest of the band is males. And but it's like really something special. Okay. I will send it to you.
I was about to show you all my list on my phone. Yeah, I got a whole list of songs. Yeah, please send it to me, because I would love to add that to my list. I would love to add it to my list. The more, the better. Very thankful to anybody who's given me things to react to, whether it be through Snapchat, through Facebook, through YouTube. Some of the videos get a lot of traction. I did one on this Japanese band called Hanabi, and it got like 2,000 views now. And then I've done video. Then I have some that have like 40. So I mean, it all depends. It's a growing process, And then I want to like jumpstart that and like getting into like making other content. Like I'm gonna start making more vocal covers and stuff like that. So just that's. Those are some hobbies of mine.
You and I need to get together on that reactions thing, because one of my other shows, that's all we do is find the stupid people in the world and we talk about them.
With it. Is it like was it I'm the island boy?
I've seen quite a few of those, trust me.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get to the second track of the show. We have Relinquished, which Ben has requested to be played on the interview. Mm-hmm. So here it is, Ventruss with relinquished on Pipebomb Radio NYC.
Whether we have what we have, or whether we don't, the analogy's sacred. Do we rise and get up, or do we fall victim to the lies and the hatred? The second hand winding up, ticking slowly to find the atonement for all that we have afloat, and for those who are hurting, we leave them defenseless. Their voices are loud enough. How do we not turn and face the deceiver and show light to the higher up and confide to the spirit of all that is evil? Prying their people with greed, finding a way to deceive their followers' needs. Everything that they follow for life. I'm done. I've had enough. Is there ever a reason to gain on innocent blood? Is the fact that we're under attack just a false accusation of all that we've been through? Goddamn, solitary confinement. One must speak the truth, the other one is alive. Fermented decongregation, broken down by the leaders, rising in vain. Contradicting, apprehending everything that for no electoral respect. Just a fuck your world. To them it's not an evil statistical movement. It's the reason. It's the reason. Obedience will lead the world and turn their own back. Just to leave us. Relinquish all that you claimed. Relinquish. No! Don't think I'm clean at all. I never once turned the corner to find myself drowning in blood. Mesmerized by a disguise that left me bleeding out my neck. Taken by my unbroken time. My sight is slightly slanted. I can see straight if you just put me back together. We forget about it all, but you just violate your own respect. Just to fuck your world. To them it's not an evil statistical movement. It's the reason. It's the reason. Obedience will lead the world and turn their own back. Just to leave us. Relinquish all that. Relinquish all that you claim. sing that last track a member of this high society? Not that we know how to properly function. And how does it feel that you know that all of your people giving your trust are soulless abandons out here for blood and walking alone?
Hey, this is Lynn from Sound Machine FM, and you're listening to Pipebomb Radio NYC.
Relinquished by Ventruss here on Pipebomb Radio NYC. Dude, I've listened to that track 7 times. Okay?
Really?
7 times. And not only do I get the goosies, because they're like flying all over right now. I'm not even joking when I say this stuff. But one of the things that I am known to do is I am known to listen to music for the adrenaline rush while I bowl.
Oh, hell yeah.
That track is now slowly, fuck that, speeding up in my playlist right now. I'm not even going to lie when I tell you that. Because
I'm here for it.
I love the energy from that song.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is the type of, I'm going to kick you in the face and your nuts at the same time and still keep going.
That song is just a straight beat down. Like you getting curb stomped, you know?
A little bit of Seth Rollins going on right now on that.
A little bit of Seth Rollins going on that. Yeah.
The variety that you guys bring
Yeah.
in every track makes everything more, out there, and should be reasons for more people to listen to your material.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We are oh, sorry, I just had some shit in my throat. Yes, we try to keep it very versatile, and that all comes from us listening to different styles of music and just taking influence from all those ways. But obviously, not copying that, making it our own, like taking those ideas and just, I mean, it's cliche to say, but like taking those ideas and like making them your own. And yeah, that song came together really, really well. It's crazy. We still have not played that one live yet.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, yes, we have not played it live. So when we wrote it, whenever I wrote it, I was the way I wrote it. There's a lot of there's gonna be a lot of backing vocals that we haven't rehearsed just yet. Because I mean, shit. Whenever I wrote all of that, I kind of was like, I was thinking about playing it live in the future, but I mean, it was the pandemic. I just wanted to be as artistic as I possibly could, and just express myself. And that way just ended up being just bouncing off over the wall, like bouncing all over the walls. And like I said earlier, Sean, my guitar player, was the one who gave me the idea to do. So he didn't say to do necessarily that, but he said, we'll do something different. I was like, okay. And like, I literally, and like I said, that song, like we've had that song, like we started writing, we that first, the intro, the like I remember we have a demo from 2016 with that riff on it. And 2020 is whenever we wrote it and recorded it. Sorry.
Now I have to peek because I see some really, really good toys in a rack behind you over there.
Oh, yes.
Which models are those?
Okay, so let's pull them out. All right, let's see.
I saw them when you got. I saw them when you got up there in the music break, and I'm like, those are.
Ricky, we're like,
we got a few toys. All right, we got a 92 Fender Jazz bass right here. Bass is my second instrument. Not really that much of a guitar player. I can play guitar, but I mostly just use it to just write ideas on Logic. But yeah, we got a 92 Jazz bass right here. Let's check it out. Let's see what else we got.
Is there an acoustic? There's acoustic there too, I think.
That's actually a classical guitar, and I'll tell you the story about that one. So we got a Sound Gear by Ibanez. I don't know what year this is. There's actually a funny story to this bass. My guitar player's brother, Michael, and his friend, which are now like some of my best friends, they had a friend from Tennessee that they met on Xbox Live who came down to visit them, and he brought this bass, and he left the bass. And this is before like the band even started. He left the bass, and they haven't seen him since. And they told Zach, he left your bass here. And then he said, well, 'cause he had met, I think he met somebody that was about to start a band. He's like, aren't they starting a band? Well, tell them they could use it if they needed. And this bass has just been like a revolving, like it's going, like Jake started playing this bass when we started the band. I played this bass. I was playing in a rock and roll blues band. And I used this bass as well as the Fender Jazz bass. But yeah, this thing is gone. This is like the it's like a musical chairs or musical. I mean, it's like the musical chairs. Like you just pass it around. So let's see what else we got.
This segment is just giving me a little bit of a chub. I'm not even drawing.
Oh, right on,
Like,
right on.
I
Hey.
love instruments. I love
Oh,
instruments.
hell yeah. This
Me
is
too.
this is a Schecter Damien Riot. I've had this guitar since I was 17 years old. It's a Floyd Rose, which whenever I got this guitar, I didn't understand what the hell this was. Not really being that experienced of a guitar player. I just thought it looked cool. And I found out, I mean, it's obviously to keep your strings in tune, but Floyd Roses are a little bit of a bitch to deal with as I've gotten older. I want to keep this guitar because my dad got me this, and my dad passed away in 2020, but he got me this whenever I was 17. Let's go on to the other ones. Oh shoot!
Yeah, this is just for those on the radio who are not going to see this. This is a very, very nice collection of instruments, and this was a segment. Like I was kind of leaning toward it, but I was like, you know what? No, this can't slide. So
My headphones actually unplugged, so I missed everything you said. What'd you say?
I was just telling everybody, for the people that are going to listen to this on the audio version, this is a very intricate toy collection that I peeked out while he stepped out of the room. So
Right. So this classical guitar, I had a neighbor. He was this older Greek guy, and he was moving, and he had guitars, and he didn't play guitar, and he had this guitar, and he had. I have an acoustic over here. It's an Fender acoustic, both in horrible shape, like literally like in such bad shape. And he just gave them to me for free. And I kind of just let them sit I was like, I didn't have the money to like really restore them. And then after a while saved up a little bit of money. And I was like, I want to do something with these guitars, So I got like a whole new, I don't remember exactly what I did with this one, but this one didn't have a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, it's a classical guitar. It's meant to sound like that, My acoustic guitar, though, I remember it was actually missing some tuning knobs, and that's in its case over here, which I'll break out if necessary. But yeah, that one and that guitar were both refurbished guitars from my old neighbor, and my most important guitar, even though.
yeah, this is
Love this.
I love this stuff.
I won't get rid of this guitar for anything. This was my first guitar I got whenever I was 11 years old from my dad from Christmas. And the funny thing about it was it was after Hurricane Katrina. And so I'm from Baton Rouge, or I'm really from a town called New Roads, Louisiana, right by Ventruss. And he was a state trooper. He ended up working down in New Orleans 3 months after Katrina. And he actually got this guitar at the Guitar Center out there. And it had just opened back. So it's just like a little interesting fun fact on that. It's just an Epiphone Les Paul body. I've, over the years, not really taken the best care of this thing because I was 13, 14. I didn't even have a case for it for forever. So it's got a little bit of its imperfections, but I'll always keep it and I'll always have it. And I still ride on it. I still play it from time to time. And I mean, this thing is, it's just got so much sentimental value to me, especially after my father passed away 2.5 years ago. So, and then I got one more. If y'all want me to bust out the acoustic, I can.
Well, about that one right there, the unique thing that I love about the way that guitar is set up is the way that the ends of the strings are off the neck of the guitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. That gives it a complete original look that a lot of artists would be sitting there like, yeah, no, we got to tuck this shit away. It looks like kind of messy. No, I believe it or not, I like that style on the guitar.
Yeah, this is really just laziness, but actually I just got a set of strings and I had this idea in my head that I wanted to write, but like the strings on the guitar were so old, so I just ran to Guitar Center, got new strings, threw them on, didn't cut them off, and just started playing, and I just haven't cut them since.
But it gives the guitar its own unique flair, though.
It does. It gives it a little bit of character, and yeah, even though it's messy, it's just like, yeah, it's flair. Sometimes imperfections is what makes music, perfect. It's perfect with its imperfections.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I never thought of I never really thought of that until you said it. Now, from now on, when I restring this guitar, I'm never gonna cut the strings off. I'm never gonna do that. I'm just,
It gives it its own originality. I definitely would not change anything about that. Well, if you need to update the strings, yes, but
yeah, I actually do. I'm like feeling them right now, and they feel old, and like they feel like they've been used a little bit, you know. And I'm no shredder. I'm no shredder by any means. Like I can't play leads. I can just play rhythm stuff, and you know, I'll write some stuff here and there. Just you know, for like, because I'm definitely one day gonna do like a solo EP, and I've got some other musical projects that I want to do, and you know, we have a lot of Ventruss stuff demoed out on my computer, and I'll try to like add some ideas for Ventruss, but it's all, you know, it's all fun. And then I got a Fender acoustic. If y'all want me to break that one out, I have to get.
oh,
it.
if you want to complete my chub, go right ahead.
All right, let's go.
I'm still sitting here about the one guitar that I have left, and that would be my cherry red Jewell that's sitting in the bag. Like I haven't taken that thing out in years. It just sits in the bag.
Just sits in the bag.
Just sits in the bag because unlike riding a bike, I don't remember how to play my guitar, and I'd have to learn again from scratch.
Oh yeah, it's like that is not like riding a bike. You do eventually lose it if you don't use it.
Oh my God.
Here we go. This is my Fender. This one was in horrible shape whenever I got it from my neighbor, and I actually just put strings on this one, and I actually wrote a pretty cool idea the other day. Sorry, it's a little out of tune, but it's an electric acoustic. I don't know exactly what model it is, but it is a Fender. And it was, oh man, I'm telling you, like it was all dusty. There's like a couple scratches, and there's actually they fixed it, but there was like a little crack like right here in it.
Yeah, you could barely even notice that.
You barely even noticed that. It's way less noticeable now. Like it actually used to be like you could see in the inside of the guitar. And I brought it to Guitar Center in Baton Rouge. They restored it. They cleaned it up. I think they even put like a new entire new fretboard on it, which is definitely needed because the fretboard was in really bad shape. And I believe this tuner, this tuner knob was missing. And I believe this one was too. So and I just got sick of looking at it. I was like, that's a decent guitar. Like that's a good acoustic guitar. It just needs to be fixed up. You know, I mean, my neighbor that had it, he never played guitar. I don't even know why he had it. I really can't remember. I mean, I hadn't spoken to the dude. He moved. That's why he gave me the guitars, because he didn't want them and he didn't want to bring them. So he handed them to me, and yeah, just been working with this one ever since. Once I got this one fixed up, I ended up doing something that I never thought I would. Well, I always wanted to do, but I guess I didn't really build up the courage. So before, I mentioned earlier that I played bass, but in that band for a year, from 2012 to 2018, the only thing I'd ever done on stage in front of people was sing. I'd never played an instrument on stage until I played with Bayou Bullets, and that was like a completely different, you know, way of looking at performing. You know, I remember the first show I played with them. I get on stage and like I'd backline my bass cab. So I get on stage, I look at the bass cab, but it was all like unplugged, and shit. I really don't remember exactly every detail, but I just remember like getting on stage and being like, shit, I got to settle this up, you know? Cause like when you're a singer, you know, you just, you know, you if you have a wireless receiver, you plug it in and boom, that's it. Or, you know, you just use one of the house mics, but like playing an instrument on stage was just completely just different for me. And I'm very glad that I did it, and I'm very glad that I'm very thankful for that part of my life. The bands, they're still together. I'm not playing with them anymore, but I definitely learned a lot, and actually learned a lot about playing bass. I mean, I was so used to playing like bass along with like metal and stuff, and like a lot of that is just more so like going along with the guitars, you know, playing with like a blues, like just kind of like pop rock band, you know, the rhythm is way more important. So like keeping up with the drummer, and you know, a lot of staccato stuff, you know, like, you know, to go into it. But yeah, so, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. I wouldn't consider myself an amazing instrument player, but I do have fun with them, and I am getting better as the day goes on. I've gotten rid of the mentality of saying that I can't do something. It's just I can't do it now. You know, like I can't do it right now, but that doesn't mean I can't do it 4 or 5 months from now. It's just I can't do it now, but if I keep working at it, then I can do it. So yeah, changing that mentality has definitely broadened up a lot of different things in my life. So
What's the we're gonna kind of start to wrap it up. I've kept
Yeah.
you for a long time. Sorry about that.
it's all dude. I have no complaints at all.
So what is the future building up to for the band?
Well, next month we're going on the road, going out to Las Vegas, Nevada, playing Apocalypse in the Desert Festival at the Fremont Country Club on March 25th. But on the way there, we've got a couple dates. We've got a show in Austin on March 18th at Oasis Brewing Company. Got a show in Tucson March 22nd. Show in Scottsdale March 23rd. We got Albuquerque March 27th. San Antonio March 29th. Dallas March 30th. Houston or Spring, Texas, March 31st, and then we're going back to Austin on April 1st. So we got that tour going. After that, I believe we're going to start writing the next record.
And then Sweden.
And then Sweden. I mean, come on. Then Sweden. There's a group on Shiprocked. I've been on Shiprocked 3 times, and there's a group on Shiprocked called the Swedes. They're all from Sweden. They come every year, and I mean, they got their face painted yellow and blue, and actually they give you I have so many souvenirs from them. They're amazing. I love them, and I love them. There was so I used to have long hair, and I used to be way skinnier, and for some reason, whenever I was at the same place as this band, people thought I was their singer. I've been mistaken for the singer from Avatar multiple times. Like when I was at Rockville, they were there. I had long black hair. I was real skinny, and obviously I don't have any makeup on my face. So, like underneath that makeup, and I've looked at like pictures of Johannes and me, like we really didn't look that much alike. But when he's wearing makeup, you can't really tell. So like I got stopped 3 times at Welcome to Rockville asking if I was Johannes. I was like, no, but thank you for the compliment. I mean, I'm like
great singer. He's
great singer, good looking dude. Cannot complain on the comparison at all. So, but I've gained a lot of weight. I put on a little bit of muscle, and I'm also 6'8", so like I needed that. Like being a twig at 6'8" was rough. Like,
It's kind of funny when you look at the band pictures. Yeah, like you stick up, and then one of the guys, looks like he's like a dwarf.
Right.
Well, I would look like a dwarf next to him too. I'm only 5'10". It's halfway up his chest.
Like everybody other than Sean and Jesse are relatively. Sean's like 6'1" if I had to guess. Jesse maybe 5'11". Jake's probably about 5'6", and then BJ's about 5'4", 5'3". If I had to guess, now I don't know their exact heights, but like you said, like Sean is a fairly tall guy, but if I stand right next to him, he's gonna look like a dwarf.
It's hard to take a really good band picture of you.
Yes, it is. I remember one photo session we did, and I stood in the front, and the rest of the guys like stood on. There was like a side. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was like some sort of alley. It was an alley in Mississippi, and they had like a little sidewalk that was elevated more so than like the road, 'cause like they actually had cars that passed through. So I stood on the road, and the rest of the guys stood on the elevated sidewalk, and we ended up like looking like more like in place. And I was like, yeah, sorry guys, I'm not trying to do this for glamour. This is just to level us out. I didn't choose to be 6'8".
All right, Ben. So give everybody the social media links, YouTube, whatever.
Absolutely. Instagram is at Ventruss_official. Twitter, Ventruss_. TikTok, Ventruss LA, which that means Louisiana, not Los Angeles. Let's see what other social medias am I leaving out. Facebook, obviously, Facebook.com/Ventruss. VentrussMusic.com. We will have a bio on there soon. We'll make sure of that. It's been under construction for a little bit, but I'm trying to think. Okay, we got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. And what am I leaving out? We don't have a MySpace page, so
yeah, I'm gonna worry about getting MySpace back.
Yeah. I'm gonna work. Oh hell yeah, dude! MySpace was the MySpace era was great for music.
Where do we find merch and so on?
Merchandise on VentrussMusic.com. Also, you can find it on Ventruss.bandcamp.com, where we actually just got some new T-shirts. So we're about to put those on there. A lot of our merchandise on our website is print on demand, so it's not stuff that we have in stock. But we're trying to get our stuff that we do have in stock onto that. Trying to think what else. Merchandise, either Ventruss.bandcamp.com or VentrussMusic.com. You can find merchandise, find our music on Spotify, Apple Music, and all streaming platforms, as well as iTunes and other Amazon, other platforms you can purchase. We're on everything. I mean, we're on pretty much any avenue that you can find online that is primarily frequented, like Apple Music, Spotify. We're on all of that. So give us a listen.
So the next time we get you guys on, we're going to get on the other band members, right?
100%. We're going to get all the other band members for sure. Definitely making sure that we get at least one or two of them in here. So we'll have a little party for sure.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Oh, most definitely.
And
most definitely.
new music being released soon?
New music being released, we're writing at the moment. Don't have any projection of when it'll be released, but it is being written currently. So
yeah, nice.
Ben, thank you for coming on the show. I really enjoyed this conversation, and we will definitely be keeping in contact a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. Lars, the Prez. What is your first name again? I'm so sorry. Ricky, of course. Sorry, Ricky Train. Yeah, I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Like I said, I didn't sleep much last night. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation. Cannot wait to come back. Cannot wait to bring the rest of the guys back, and we're going to make sure that it is another slamming episode.
Oh, hell's yeah. Oh, hell's yeah.
Oh, hell's yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that is the Viking. I am the Master of Mayhem. That is Ben from Ventruss. This is Pipebomb Radio, and we are out of here.
Out of here.
This is Alex Alcazaz, aka the Bear of Texas, and you've just listened to Pipebomb Radio New York City, featuring your host, the Master of Mayhem, Ricky Litwinkowicz. Don't forget your Pipebomb Radio New York City merch at painttrainpipebomb.threadless.com and listen to shows like Ringside Chaos and Motley Metal on all listening platforms. Tune in again next time for another episode of Pipebomb Radio New York City.